What's up YouTube, Darlin here with NOBA Tech, and today I have the Sony A6500 in the office. We'll do a quick unboxing and first impressions, then I'll go ahead and let you know what my favorite lens combo is for this setup. Last year we unboxed the A6300 and you guys actually loved that video. I never posted a review just because I actually ended up selling that camera for some specific reasons that actually this camera solves. So I went ahead, picked this guy up, we're gonna open it up, take a look at what's new, and I'll give you my first impressions. So right when we open the box, we see that inside we get a bunch of warranty info, some paperwork. This I'm not gonna read, but also make sure you don't throw this away. There's a 1-year limited warranty on your camera. Inside, we get a few accessories. So first up, we have a little USB charging brick. All right. We get one battery, unlike the A7R2, the A7S2, and the A7 II. This little guy, as well as the A6300, only comes with one battery, and you'll for sure need more. Inside, we also get a little eye cup, and I've heard that this is redesigned, so we'll see if it's any better. You get a little camera strap, which I will not be using, so there's that. And last but not least, a micro USB cable. Last but not least in the box is our camera body. Nice and quick unboxing, but let's go ahead and jump into our first impressions. I love the A6300. There were just a few issues that made it so that it wasn't worth it to me, so I sold it, but I think this guy is gonna be sticking around. Right off the bat, I can already tell that the grip is a little bigger, a little better. I like it, feels good. All right, the screen, whoa, the screen is a lot thicker and the hinges feel a lot more solid. These hinges feel even better than my A7S2 and R2, which those ones are pretty flimsy, so this guy feels good. I assume that the screen is thicker because of the touchscreen, which I'm excited to try out as well. And first impressions of this wheel. The wheel in the back is a lot stiffer, which is amazing. I hate when I accidentally turn the wheel and my ISO changes or something like that. So this is a small but very nice feature. Great feature that this wheel is a lot stiffer. I like that. Ooh, I see there's a C1 and C2 button now up top. You get 2 custom function keys right up top, right below the shutter buttons. I like that. And of course, you still have C3 down here by the trash can. Overall, it doesn't feel heavier. I'm assuming it's a little bit heavier. You got a bigger grip, you got thicker screen, you got a touch screen in there, and best of all, you have IBIS now, 5-axis in-body image stabilization. So I definitely assume that this is heavier than the A6300, but you really can't tell. So I love that when I open up this battery compartment, I can put my battery in here, it's right in here, but also right next to it is where my SD card goes. They all go in one compartment, close it up, and that's it. Overall, this guy feels good, and I'm excited to have this form factor back in my hands. As great a camera as the A7R2 is for photos and videos, this was always my favorite form factor. I love the A6300. When I had it, I took that out way more than I did my A7R2 or S2, so this guy is gonna be an awesome little upgrade. This guy's gonna be perfect for vlogging, for photography, for in general, when I just wanna take one camera out with me, this guy's gonna be the one I grab. So those are my first impressions and everything that comes inside the box. Let's go ahead and jump into sharing with you guys my personal favorite lens combination for this camera setup, as well as, I guess, for the A6300. So as I promised in the beginning of this video, I have a lens combo that I want to share with you guys, and I actually have a third surprise lens that I'll tell you guys about at the end of this video as well. So first off, we have this guy. This is the Sony 10 to 18 millimeter f4 lens with OSS in it, and this is an APS-C lens, so it's made specifically for this camera sensor. For me, this guy is the perfect wide-angle lens. It's great for vlogging. It's got stabilization in itself, even though you have IBIS now, so you're just gonna have some extra smooth footage. If you didn't know, I actually made a full review about this lens, comparing it to the Sony Zeiss 16 to 35 f4 lens, and that was a pretty popular video, so I'll link it below. Definitely check that out if you wanna know a little bit more info about this, but I just wanted to share with you guys real quick that this is my wide-angle lens of choice for the Sony A6500. It's got a tulip style lens hood. It extends out a little tiny bit, not a lot. It's super wide and it still has a little bit of zoom in there. I have a Zeiss UV filter on it. I'll go ahead and link that below. And it has a 62 millimeter filter thread. The minimum focusing distance on this guy is pretty good. It's only 0.82 feet. Overall, this is a super good looking lens. It's very small, it's very lightweight, and in general, you get great image quality out of this. So any Sony vlogger out there looking into the Sony A6500, this is for sure the lens you should pick up for vlogging. So for this camera, this guy is gonna cover all my wide angle stuff. This is what I'm gonna be using when I throw this guy on a gimbal. And in general, this is probably just gonna be on this camera, probably around 75% of the time. So this is the first lens. Let's check out number 2. So if I could only pick up 2 lenses for this camera, this would be number 1, the 10 to 18, and number 2 would be this guy. This is the Zeiss 55mm f1.8 full frame lens, and this guy retails for around $1,000, but again, you can find it for cheaper. So this guy comes with a little pouch. It's nothing special, just a little faux leather pouch with kind of a hard cardboard bottom, and then it has a drawstring at the top. But inside is what's important, guys. So inside we get another tulip styled lens hood, and this is the Zeiss 55mm f1.8, literally my favorite lens that I've ever used, period. I absolutely love this guy. The image quality is phenomenal. When I had this lens in my possession, this was on my camera probably 90% of the time. So this guy is tiny. It has a 49mm filter thread. Look how small it is. It's got a decent amount of weight to it. It's made out of this metal body, whereas the 10-18 is more of a plastic body, so this one's definitely a little bit heavier. Its minimum focusing distance isn't that great. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure you guys can find that out for yourself. But in general, I just wanted to let you guys know that if I ever need any bokeh or if I'm doing any portrait shots, anything like that, this is what I'm gonna pick up. This guy is a 55mm lens, but on this APS-C camera with a 1.5 times crop, this guy's gonna come out to around 82, I believe, which is perfect. Look how nice and compact this combo is to shoot some amazing portraits. This lens does not have built-in OSS or stabilization, but that's what I have this guy for. So I'm super excited about the 5-axis image stabilization that they were able to fit into this tiny guy. If I remember correctly, based on comparisons that I've seen, the only things bigger on this camera compared to the A6300 are this, the screen, just slightly wider, and then the grip, just slightly bigger. So it's amazing to me that they were able to fit IPIS into this little guy. So there you have it. This is my lens combo recommendation for the Sony A6500 and the Sony A6300. You have the 10-18mm to cover all your wide angle stuff, and you have the 55mm to cover all your long range stuff, which in reality is more like an 82mm. So these two guys, plus the third lens that I promised to recommend to you guys as well, is the Zeiss 24mm f1.8 lens APS-C lens for the Sony A6500, and I think that would be perfect to cover that mid-range. So we got wide, we have the Zeiss 24 for mid, and then we got the Zeiss 55 for your long range, and I think that'll cover everything that you're gonna need for the Sony A6500. It'll be quite a pretty penny that you're gonna drop, but let me be clear, if you had these three lenses, you'd be set, you'd be covered, and I really don't think you'd need much more. Unless you guys are a sports or wildlife photographer, these three recommended lenses would be perfect. I know they're not cheap in any way, but these are just my recommendations and what I'm personally gonna be using. I personally don't have the 24 yet. I definitely want it, but like I said, these lenses are expensive, and even I can't just go pick them up willy-nilly just because I want them. So this is gonna be my run and gun, my vlogging, my on-the-go kind of setup that I'm gonna use from now on. I still have my A7S II for while I'm in the studio and for my A cam, but if you guys are interested, I have a pristine condition, almost brand new A7R II for sale, so hit me up on Twitter. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Darlin with NOBA Tech, and to the next one and beyond.